Hey everyone, Cooking with Sue here. It is 4:45 and I figured I would just show you what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. So I had a roaster chicken that I had cooked and I picked off all of the chicken off of it. And I want to show you a couple things. First of all, my chicken, which we are going to make into a taco soup. Oop, tink. So we're going to use our salad choppers. Salad choppers have two blades. They obviously can be used for salad by holding your romaine lettuce and just chopping down it, or celery or carrots, whatever. So I'm going to hold them backwards. I call them chicken choppers or pulled pork. And I'm just going to dice this chicken into bite-sized pieces. You can do this recipe for a couple of chicken breasts, and you can cook it with the taco soup all at the same time. I actually cooked this in advance, so I'm just going to shred the chicken and add it at the very end just to warm it up. So that's the chicken choppers. Now, I did want to show you, I've talked before, and you probably saw one of my other videos where if you wash your carrots before you peel them, and then you keep your peels from your carrots, you keep the end part of your celery, just wash it. The ends of your broccoli, those type of things. You can throw all of that in when you do a stock. So this was the bones and the carrots and the celery and all of that information that I just dumped all in. And you'll see it's in my strainer, my Pampered Chef strainer. I put all that together with the carcass of the chicken in my quick cooker. Look at that beautiful color. I'm gonna just tip it down a little bit so you guys can see. See that rich color? Just an FYI, if you've never done a chicken broth before, you should put a 1/4 cup of white vinegar in it. That will help draw the marrow out at it. So I'm gonna make a chicken soup as well, but I'm gonna use part of this for our taco soup. So for taco soup, super easy. Here's my quick cooker. Pampered Chef came out with a quick cooker. It's a power cooker, pressure cooker. There is 16 buttons on it. You can do everything, you name it. Everything from proofing bread dough to doing soups and steaming shrimp in 1 minute. Crazy stuff like that. So a couple of these cans don't need a can opener. So we're going to do 2 cans of tomatoes with green chilies to give it a little bite. And then we are going to add a can of sauce. And I tend to buy the no salt sauce because you really want to salt your ingredients at the end, not at the beginning. It'll just add better flavor at the end. So smooth edge can opener, just a reminder, smooth edge can opener, you spin like a helicopter where the blade's on the top. You push it right up to the can and you twist. And when you do that, it's going to actually grab the can and it'll go all the way around until you hear a click or it gets really easy to turn. Now, why do you need one of these? A couple reasons. One is if you have spatulas that have those little cuts on the side, you're going to end up with cuts if you don't have a smooth edge can opener. I'm going to show you what I am referring to. When you have silicone spatulas, sometimes you have all these little cuts on the side because you're digging through your can. So with the smooth edge can opener, you don't have that. Now, the other thing is that if you have a tuna can, my son has 6 stitches when he was 6 years old, jumped over the trash and landed on a tuna can and sliced the instep of his foot, which was quite traumatic for all of us, mom included. So then you want to use it as well because the type that you push down into actually can put bacteria down into the can if you don't wash the tops of the cans each time. This recipe calls for 1 can of beans, and it's a smaller can than this, but I'm using a jumbo can because that's what I have. And to strain it, I'm just using my berry and bean strainer. This is part of the salad spinner set that we have, Pampered Chef has. And I'm just going to rinse those really well to get all the little starch off of them. Now, if I didn't have canned beans, I could do this with, sorry, I'm off screen. I could do this with my pressure cooker here, and I actually can do beans in it. And you can do it from dried. So we're going to add the beans in. We added the chili in. We're going to add 10 ounces of corn. So it's about 1/3 of this jumbo bag here. We're going to add taco seasoning. And again, I do low sodium. Better for your health. And here, let me get into my drawer here. One of the things that I think is important is that a lot of us are trying really hard to eat chemical-free, or as chemical-free as we can. So if you don't want to use a pre-mixed taco seasoning packet, you can actually make your own. I'm going to add some chili powder to this recipe. By the way, Ann Nestrick was the one, Nestrick Lerner, sorry. High school friend of mine was the one that gave me this recipe, and it looked so great. I was like, oh, I definitely want to cook that. And then I'm just going to use the leftover chicken broth and chicken to make a chicken soup at another time, so I'm going to freeze it. Now the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of water, so instead of water I'm going to add the flavor of chicken broth. And then we're just going to put the cover on our quick cooker and get it started. Hold on. So if you've never used the quick cooker before, it's really easy to use. You want to make sure a couple things are going on. First of all, you want to make sure that this lever here is flat and flush to the machine, not down. You push it down when you want to vent it, so you want to make sure that it is flush. The other thing you want to make sure is that this image of steam is blowing away. And so you're not supposed to have it under your countertop, so actually before I push start on it, I'm going to move it to my table. That way I'm not venting steam onto my cabinet. Or you could just spin the whole thing around and it can vent into your kitchen. So what you do is you turn it to soup. There's a button that says soup, so we just go all the way over to soup and stock. Now it says normally 30 minutes, so that's what I did when I put my whole roaster chicken in there. And I put in onions, I put in the carrot shavings, the celery shavings, you know, all my vegetables and stuff like that, and then a little bit of white vinegar, and I just turned it on that, and then it just made this beautiful broth. So I'm totally going to be doing my own chicken broth and just freezing them in like 1 cup Ziploc baggies, so that if the recipe calls for 1 cup, you can do it. And by the way, if you go to Walmart, they have these new snack bags that are square instead of just rectangle, and these are perfect for that, for doing just that. So once it cools down, I can drain it right into there. So back to the quick cooker. 30 minutes is too long for what I need. I only need this to heat up, so I'm going to hit time. And then I'm going to go down to like 8 minutes. I actually don't even need that much because I'm not cooking the chicken. If I was cooking 2 breasts of chicken, I would do 8. So I'm going to do 5 minutes because I just literally need to heat this stuff up. I'm going to press start. The blue buttons will rotate around in a circle until it comes up to pressure. Once it comes up to pressure, there's a red pressure button, kind of like a turkey timer that goes bing. Once that's up, you cannot open the machine. It's a safety feature, and I love that because I was super nervous about using a pressure cooker myself. And once it comes to temperature, it's going to cook for 5 minutes, and then it's going to be ready. I'm going to add the chicken in, and we're going to have dinner. So thank you, Ann, for that. I might take some flour tortillas and cut them up and put some, maybe some chipotle rub on them and bake them and make like taco chips to go with it and put that on top so you have a little bit of crunchies. And that's it. So thanks for joining me.